Okay. Let's see if we can. I just went okay. Can you see? Can you see my screen? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see if we can get it into the spawn on time, because I think it's a little lagging. Yeah, anyway, we will shift it to Google Translate if there's a need to. Okay, better. Okay, welcome. Today we will try and do a quick review of what we did over the past 3 weeks, and we'll also try and add a few new grammar points, especially towards the end. So the idea of sending it earlier was just so that you have a bit of a feel of what it is like, and also that we move faster on the parts that we're already familiar with, and do a little longer on the parts that we feel that relatively new or we've spent much time on, unlike just dwelling on stuff that we already have covered earlier. Okay, so let's start with the A point. Okay, I think we have about 15 points that we'll include in this lecture, and one of them has to do with introductions and yeah, basic stuff. Let's see how it goes. Right, so George is introducing his friends from his Chinese class to his mom. So how does he say, "They are all my friends. I met them in Chinese class," or "I met them in the Chinese class"? Who wanna go first? Okay, we have some points given already. Okay, Mary, do you wanna go first?
他们都是我的 oh sorry yeah right 他们都是我的同门 I met them in 我是中文我是在中文课认识的
Okay, good. Thank you very much. And then Mo, do you wanna give your version?
The first one, 他们都是我的同门。我是在中文课认识的。
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, I think both versions are somewhat similar, right? Identical. Let's see if we can bring up our good friend. Translate. And then we bring the context in together, right? So that we find a way of what exactly are we trying to bring up. New share and Google Translate. So our statement starts from English to Chinese, right? There we go. Okay, are you able to see my Google Chrome? Awesome. So here we go. Alright, it looks like Google Translate is still asleep at the moment. Nothing is showing. No results. Okay. I think I'm on the wrong side. That's what I want. So I need to cancel the one who was drunk. Okay, good. So here we are. We are agreeing that initially the subject is tamen, and then this is referring to the friends, right? Tamen shu, and then the next part will be water, because they belong to me, right? They are my friends, mine, water, right? And then the last part, there are so many expressions we can also incorporate on the last part, right? For example, I think this part we are done with. We are all agreeing with. 他们都是我的同门 excuse me. 我的同学 or 同 right 同学们 if you like. And then 在中文课认识的 how do we say this? The version that we have so far is 我. I'm just gonna put it next to where the dashes are, right? 我 okay, 我是在中文课认识的 right? Or we can include ourselves, both them and I, right? Woman, right? 他们都是我的同学们，我们在中文课认识的。So we know each other from the Chinese class, right? So that's another version of doing it, of saying the same statement. But what's the third version that we can use as well? On the first part there. What can we say? That other expression that includes the speaker.
我们都
Okay, woman we have already included. Woman we have included. There's another one that is used especially when the speaker is including themselves. Okay, I think we have just forgotten that one, but it's very popular as well. When you're about to pray, you hear the speaker say, let's pray together, right? Woman, but there's this one that also includes him, man, right?
Oh.
Alright. 他们是在中文课认识的. So we know each other from the Chinese class. Alright? So that's another one. I'm not sure if it's new to you, but probably it's familiar as well. Okay? It's as good as woman. Okay? Another translation of Sangman. Okay, so usually it's used when the speaker is including themselves. So we could do the same with our phrase where George is introducing his friends to his mom and he says, we met from the Chinese class, right? Woman or Taman. 是在中文课认识. Okay, so we're good with this one, right? Awesome. Now, we did numbers. We did Liang, and yeah. Let's see. How do we say 12 tables? Okay. Monica, you want to go?
Sure. Are Zhang Zhouzi.
Yes, very good. Right, so that's nice. Okay, so Monica, how do we say 12 tables?
12 tables. The sure are Jiang Zhouzi.
Very good. All right. So this one took you about 10 seconds. The other one took you 5 seconds. So let's see how fast you can answer this time. All right. How do you say 12 tables?
12张桌子.
All right. Good. Now you have improved on time. Let's improve on your tones, right? Because at the end there you sounded like you're doubting the answer, even though you said it's the correct one. So let's correct that. All right. Let's hear the confidence with the answer. 12 tables.
12张桌子.
Very good. All right. So the T in the last day, I think that's you're raising it a little bit, but remember T is just used almost everywhere when you're saying nouns in Chinese. You see spoons, they have T, tables, trousers. They use that T, and usually it's neutral. I think, if I'm not mistaken. So, 桌子, 桌子. Yeah, instead of 桌子 and you raise it up, then it sounds almost like it's a question tone. But I think it has to stay neutral, right? I'm just gonna quickly confirm with the it has no tone marker on C, alright? So natural, not take a tone break. Don't raise it, don't drop it. Yeah, just say it in a natural way, okay? So that's 12 tables, and that's correct there because it's 12, so we use R, right? Very good, nicely done, all right? And then we said 2 weeks. Okay, how do we say 2 weeks? Each one want to give it a go?
Who?
Mayor, do you want to give it a go?
Oh, okay.
Uh,
2个星
sorry?
2个星期
Yes, very good. I said Ichu. I don't know if I pronounced your name correctly. I forgot your name. Is it Ichu or Yuchi?
Huh?
Is your name
Oh, my Chinese name Yuqi.
Yuchi? Yeah. So I mixed that up from back to front. All right.
I recognize my own name.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay. Sorry, say it again because I think and now that I mentioned both of them, now I'm confused which one is the correct.
Okay. 2个星期
Yes, and your Chinese name?
Oh,
You-
Yuqi.
Yuchi. All right, good. Yuchi. All right, good. Good. So that's it. Two of something. We go with Lianga. All right. Lianga. That's for two of something. Good. Let's see another version. Let's get back to you more. Two friends.
2朋友.
Yeah, very good. Right. Yeah. We'll take away the nga as well. So the ng and the ga part will be swallowed with yeah. Okay, good. So this part we're really good. We're flowing. Let's go on our item C where we want to complete the table by writing the Arabic numerals in Chinese and Chinese numbers in Arabic numerals. So let's start with the first number, right? This part here. Yuchi, do you want to lead on this one?
307完9001
What number is that?
okay 300 oh 307 thousand 307,009 I don't know what's one is 10,000 nine Geo is 9 what's Chin 9,000 and then 0 okay yeah I'm really bad at the numbers still
Okay. Yeah, but let's walk through this together, right? One of the tips that really works is remembering that this one is chen is what? 1,000, right? You see the chen?
1,000.
Yes, very good. And one?
One is 10,000.
Very good. So we know that after this number, there are 4 digits. We know that after this number, there are 3 digits. So that will help us. There are 4 digits. Before the 4 digits here, we have this number. Excuse me. Which is 307, right?
Mm-hmm.
307. I have to have the 7, but yeah, there's some dragging going on. All right, and then we know from this point forward, we have how many? 4 digits, right? Because that's 10,000. So that'll be like 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this is this part. 307, 307, and then 4 zeros. Okay, 307 10,000, right? But on that 10,000, they're not just zeros because we now see that there's 9,000. So 9 will take this part. Okay, and then there is 1,000. And then there's ling, e, which means that we don't have anything except a 1 at the end. So we're going to have 2 zeros in the middle. Okay, and 1 in the end. How do we know that?
Because where the link is.
Very good. Alright, so we have 2 clues. We have number 1, the 1,000, we know that 3 digits should be there. And number 2, we know that 1 is at the end, because if it was a 10, we'll see sh, right, will be used as sh, or sh, just the 10. If it was 100, we'll see e by at the end. So what this one would shift to be this in this position. Can I zoom in? If it was 100, it will be e by at the end. If it was a 10, it will be e sh at the end. But it's just e, so we know it's just a 1 at the end. Okay? So that's the big number, but our guidelines are these two, 1,000 and 10,000, right? And you see we would do the same here. Mo, do you want to give us a go on this one using the same skill?
Two. We have R by Wu Liu Qian Qi by Wu Ba.
Okay. All right. There we go. By Wu Liu, right? There's a turn in area there. Yeah. I don't know why it's dragging again on me, but let's correct that typing error, because the number will not come out without the 6. And if it does that again, we'll just copy it and paste it somewhere. See if it's faster there, right? So by no, don't do it again. By 56 10. Okay, good. And then 7 Alright, very good. So that's a long number. I think that, and they actually look very. I mean, they're long in English. They're even longer in Chinese because you have to write each and every one on its own. Okay, good. And Oops, the bar. Look at that. Okay, good. And remember, we also said because it's a large number, when you're working with thousands and above, you can also use liang at the first one, right? Where we said bai, we could also use liang bai, right? We remember that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. And the last one, 9.6 million. This is for you, right? Yuchi.
Okay. 9百10 no yeah wait 916 60 no 60万
All right, correct, right? So that's 960 million, all right?
that's right.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's correct. That's correct, right? 960 10,000. Okay, good. Nicely done, all right? So we're done with numbers. Let's go on this one, which phrases that we hear or we might express sometimes when we're working with numbers. 50, more or less. How do you say that?
Oh, 差不多 that part.
All right. Okay. Monica, do you have a version for this one?
No.
Okay. So more or less is as close to almost, but not really the same. What's the word for um for left and right?
Joyo, was it that?
Yes, very good, right? So we say 50. 左右, right? 左右. 50. 左右. Okay. So that's more or less there, right? Around 50. So we just take in the part where we say left and right. Somewhere in between there. Could take plus or minus 50, right? 50 左右. Okay. And then let's move on. The next one is okay. Hold on a second. I can't see the other screen. All right. All right. How do we express this in English, right? Sanga sosan. Not sanga sosan. Liang sanga sosan. Liang sanga sosan. How do we say that in English? Now, can you hear me? What's going on?
conjugation.
2, 3 students.
Very good. All right. So we have to add the word or in that instance, right? 2 or 3. That's not or. Pardon my computer's rudeness today. I think it's doing its stuff. So these are all right. So we put them together. The numbers they just follow one another, one after the other, right? If you want to do that with 7 and 8, you just go chiba, or something like that, right? So the numbers just follow each other. You're given two options in that order. Okay. So that's the translation in English, right? How do you say more than a month? How do we say more than a month?
I check. Okay. Is it càng多一个月?
Very good. That's a good one. That's a good one. All right. So, see what we're doing here. We're working with numbers, right? The other expression that we normally would hear or use, right? So, yours, very good. This expression is very expressive. And another one would be 1 month. Remember, we will do this very soon, right? With that. For example, when we're saying 12 o'clock, half past 12, we just go this number, 点半, right? The number, then the measure part after. So we can do the same with this part here where we say 1个月, alright? 1 month. Oh, I have to take rid of my keyboard. 1个月. Oh, that's not good. There we go. Okay, like that. So we have a month, and then we want to express that it's going to be more than a month. So what's the word for or top or or more? Which word comes to mind? I think I'm going to go with the top first. Okay, Shang, right? So 1个月上, that means it's going to take more than a month. It's going to take more than that. You hear Shang, and you also hear Do, like you said, Geng Do. You also hear just Do, 1 month and more. Okay? 1个月多, 1个月上. Those two can be used in expression. It's going to take more than a month, alright? Alright? So this is the usual formation where you see one thing and then the expression after. An hour, half the hour. Okay? That's one of those formations of that you encounter the most, or we should also be familiar with. Okay, and then this one will not take us much time. Almost 100. Almost 100. More, do you want to try this one? Because I think you gave us some clue last time, so building on that.
差不多一半.
Sorry, come again.
差不多100.
Yes, very good. How do we say 100?
100.
100.
100.
Are you sure?
No.
All right. How do we say 100? You?
Just buy.
Yes, very good. We could say yibai. It's correct, but what we want to correct is the third tone, right? Yibai.
Buy.
Mm.
That was a trick.
Yeah.
Buy.
But most sounded like this one. E. And then there was a buy, like you wanted to buy a car, you buy. Alright, so that was a little sounded more English than Chinese now, the last buy. Okay, so remember on the ending, I think this is where more needs to work on. Endings then turns out to be like a question, like uh, you raise them a little bit, and then they miss the tone. So remember the last part of your phrase. Just try and remember which tone is it, and try and stick to it. Even if you're doubting, this is what I always say to some students. So even when you're doubting, be confident about what you're saying, even if it's wrong. We have these stories when we were starting to learn Chinese when we had very limited vocab. We would say the same thing and use gestures to say, okay, if you are saying "zaijian" because that's the word that came to my mind and I'm extending my hand to you, you would also say "zaijian" back to me and shake my hand. Even though we're saying hello and using the word for goodbye, we're confident about that. So just go with the same flow. Be confident with what you're saying. Even if you're sure or not unsure, just go with it and be confident about it. If it's wrong, and then we'll work through that. If we need correction, then we'll correct it after, okay?
Okay.
Loud. Alright, good. So, how do we say 9 or 10 students? Oh, one more way. Okay, what's the other way of saying almost 100? Almost 100.
I know there's a word, but I forgot.
Oh, okay. The one we start with D, right? Is that the one you're trying to recall? Oh, there's another one as well, because there are always several ways of expressing oneself.
Oh, there's another one.
Okay.
Most.
So when you think it, please share with us in the group, right? Well, let's see this one, which refers to approximately. Takai, right? Takai, approximately 100. Okay. Yeah, Takai is. I think Takai is more on the Tsoyo side than it is on the almost. Yeah, I'm gonna look through this because I see here it says approximate. So approximate is more plus or minus than it is almost, right? Because yeah, chabudu is like we are almost reaching. The word cha, we already know that it means there's something lacking, but it's almost there. So I think it would be more accurate to use this on more or less. Where we want to say 100 左右, we can say 大概是100, right? Mm-hmm. I think that would be more accurate because it's an approximation, so it could be plus or minus instead of almost. Yep. Let's use this one on the former one instead of this one. Yeah. So we won't include it on this one. We'll just leave it there. All right. And then when you think of the one that you wanted to share as well, please do in the class, and then we can also bank on that to add that to our vocab. That would be wonderful.
I'll try to search.
Okay, thank you. And now let's move on to 9 or 10 students. Okay.
Who, me?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. 就是个水生.
Very good. Yep. But then when you pull that out, come here. There's one problem that we will face, as you will see just now. I think you already figured that out. Let's see if our friend can tell us. Okay, good. Okay, another typo. All right. All right, there we go. Now we're waiting for the numbers. 5, 1. Okay. All right, that's our translation. So do you see the problem that we now have? We want to say 9 or 10, and now we have 90. Whew, translation error. Mira, the school wanted to buy computers and tablets for 9 or 10 students, and then the translator said 90 students. Now the school has gone over their budget.
No budget.
Okay, so how do we correct this?
I would probably add 或者十个学生.
Yes, also will do, right? But if we want to go with our formation of one number, this will be one option, right? We'll put the gap before the other one.
The middle.
Yeah.
九个学生.
Alright, so let me see if I can get the number 2 there, which is number 5 over here. And in this row, I'm going to take gone. Then I'm going to take the third one. Gone. So, alright, this is one way. If you don't want to use holds, but holds it will be more natural because people can really understand or get to see what exactly you're saying, right? So, do holds it, that will be the most audible and easily understood way of expressing it. Alright, so we just wanted to show that sometimes, even though it works to say 3, 3, 2, 2, 5, 5, 7, but in some instances it might be tricky, especially when you're working with numbers closer to 10. Then it might also mean something else. Okay, good. So now, since we're going to have to be careful with our translation if you're translating for somebody. Alright, let's see if we can express ourselves with a bit of fractions, right? These are some of the numbers that you hear with commas or with percents, right? Or fractions. Okay, so I've clicked on this third slide 3 times now and it's not coming up. I'm not sure why. Is it? Okay. Maybe we should use it as a slideshow. I'm just seeing it, the whole thing cycling around like that. Okay. It's really rude today. I don't know if it's waking up or what. Okay, good. I decided to put it up as a slide. Maybe that will be faster because this is just very few text, no pictures, no videos. It should be a lot faster. Alright, good. Let's see here. We have. Can I zoom in? Okay. Yeah, it's not listening to me. Can you see this number in the corner here?
It's a little small, but you can.
Yeah, I'm trying to squeeze it so I can zoom it, but I don't think it's listening to me. Oh, you see that? The moment I click, then it went to the next one. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna give it one more shot. If it fails, then we. Yeah, it's not listening to me. Okay, I'm gonna read it for you, alright? And then you can translate it. Ling, Dian, Ling, Ling, San. How do we translate that into English? Ling, Dian, Ling, Ling, San. Okay, so let's move on together, right? What's Ling?
0.
Alright, very good. And what's Dian?
Dot.
Yes. and then we have ling, ling, san. Zero, zero, 3, right? Yes. So that's the fraction there, 0.003. So the dn will be used, and then also just to say the numbers after a dn, just to say them individually, right? So even if this was 50 something, we would still say 5, 7, or whatever the number individually. Okay, so that's about percent, rather decimal points in when expressing them in Chinese. And how do we express 4/5 or 4/5?
I don't know. 我不知道。
Oh, okay. One way is to split, is to remember to look at them. Okay, do you know how to express percentages before I go to this one? Do you know how to express percentages? If we say 10%, 100%, something like that?
That's the 百分之, right?
Yes, very good. So here is this. They use the same trick when they're working with fractions. I like that you already know that there is by French. For example, if you want to say 40%, what would they say?
40%.
Very good. That's correct. All right. So what this simply means is we're saying we have 100 parts. Okay. And then from those 100 parts, we're splitting them, and we're taking out 40 out of them. All right. By 20. So using the same analogy, if we have 4/5, we'd say we have 5 parts, then that would be wufen, right? And then we're just taking 4. So that's 4/5, right? Wufen, juicy, right? 5 points, or you read it from the bottom going up, right? 4 out of 5 points. Okay, 4/5. So that's the same with percentages. You put 100 at the bottom and then the percentage number under. So if you say 40%, like the way you say this by French sushi, we're saying 40/100. So the parts, they take the first part, that's the denominator, and you can take this G as the over, and then whatever the number on top, right after. Okay, so that's the analogy. Whenever you see any fraction, the number in front, those are the parts. The fen part is, I think that's what represents the parts, right? And then whatever number it is goes after before that, rather. So it'll be the same. By French, she by French or French. In our instance where we're saying 4/5, this will be the translation where we say French, right? So that's the same analogy. You get it? Okay, good. And which one was the last one? Let's see. I think we covered 2 points in that row, right? Alright. Okay, good. And then the other one is the same point. More. Do you want to try this one? 8.33.
son.
Okay, good. Remember what we said on when we did the first one, which had 001, and said if it was 57, we would still say the numbers individually.
Sun, sun.
Yes.
Dian, sun, sun.
Yes, very good. Anything after the Dian, it stands on its own. It's individual, right? Good. Nice. Okay. Any questions on this part?
Not for me.
Good. We work with ban as a way to split something in half. We do that with hours. We do that with 12, 12:30. We say chi are then ban. Chi are then ban. So let's see if we can use the ban in a proper way this time around. How do we say 1.5 month? 1.5 months rather.
1个月半.
Very good. How do we say just half month? Just half month more. Do you want to try?
I don't know.
Okay. Now back to you, Yuchi.
Is that just 半个月?
Yes, very good. Very good. So and if you want to include the ye part, or like 1/2 of a month, you could also say ye.
半个月.
Yes,
半个月.
very good. So the only change there is when you have full in before then the half, you could say the word half, whatever the unit that you measure, right? In this instance, we're talking about months. We could say 1 month and then half. Iga you ban. But if it's so the ban comes after the month. But if it's not reaching a month, there's no whole month before it, then the ban comes before the month. In this instance, we're now saying ban ga yue yue. Now the month is coming at the end. So I think that's the only thing to remember about this formation. So now that we know, let's try these last two, right? 9.5 hours. Yuchi, let's give this one to you.
9个半小时.
Okay, very good. Let's suppose you remove the measure word.
Oh.
Let's hear it without.
9半小时.
All right. Can you come back on 1.5 months? Because I think let's check the formation you used here.
Okay, that was 1个月半.
Yes. So ban comes after it. So let's try that. Let's try that with this one. 9.5 hours.
Oh, okay. But no 9小时半.
Yes, very good. Okay. And then then if you want to add the guy, you can add, but as long as ban comes after, because we have 4 hours before the half, right? Very good. But that's different with the last one, which is a half glass of beer. Let's hear that from more. Half glass of beer, or drink if you like, because I think maybe your beer might offend.
On a Joe.
Very good, alright. Now let's hear the confidence now. The answer was correct. Let's hear the confidence.
On a Joe.
Very good, right? So the glass of beer comes after. It's like more like we just following up the English way of saying it, because it's saying, I mean, we just following the English order as well. I think that's another good mnemonic there. If there is no full number, if there is no one whole number before the half, we just follow the English word. Ban, iban, iban you, iban got you, and then iban bay, piju. So that's a very good way of looking at it. Nice. So we're done with these ones. Let's look at measure words slightly and then do some readjusting. We have 4 sentences, so we won't take much time on these ones. 这桌子2张. How do we correct that? We are trying to say these 2 tables. I hope that wasn't a tricky one. Let's see. 这桌子2张. We want to try and say these 2 tables. How do we say that?
Can I try?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. 这2张桌子.
It's very good, right? Alright, I'm trying to type it, but I'm not seeing it. Don't think it's listening to me. Alright, yeah, today it really was a rude computer. Okay, can I see anything? Oh, no, it's typing. Maybe it missed. Thank you very much. That's correct. All right. Let's move on to the other one. These 3 professors. These 3 professors. Okay. How do we write that? Monica, do you want to try?
这3位教授.
Very good, right? So these 3 professors, nicely done. Let's move on. Those 4 bottles of beer. How do we say that one?
Let's see.
Okay.
I forgot.
Okay, good. Remember the order. We started with this or that. So j, that's what we use there. J again, but this time we have na, right? Which is those. So let's start with na, and then 4, the number comes after c, right? And then of course we are using measure words. For tables we use jang. For people we use wei, and for bottles we use.
I forgot.
Okay, ping and
Oh.
piju, right? I see. Ping, piju, right? Like that. That should do it. Okay. So it's well, it's a little tricky, but not that much tricky because what we're trying to do is pick up a few measure words, and a bit of rearranging. But rearranging is not really the main point. It is because I mean, of course, we want to know exactly where to place our measure words and where to place our nouns. So that is part of it. But we're also picking up some of these measure words, which is also part of what we want to learn how on using the proper grammar tenses, right? So that's a good thing to do. Let's practice one more. We want to say these two sweaters. I'll give you last one. It's a bonus one.
I forgot to say sweaters, but the first part is 这两件, right? 这件?
Okay. You want me to sorry, I didn't pick your question.
这两件.
Okay. Are you asking or you saying your answer?
I'm saying the first part of the answer because I forgot to say sweater.
Okay. So you just saying we say 这两件 and then 毛衣.
Sorry.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
All right. Good. Thank you. Let's throw it over to Mo. Mo, do you have a version of this one?
这2件毛衣.
All right. Okay. Good. All right. Cool. It could work. It could work both ways, but actually, this arrangement that it is. Yeah, I think that's correct. Actually, we put the measure word after the number, right? That's the regular formation. That's the correct one. So we didn't have to work that much hard. But in case you find somebody putting it before, we could still come to the point where we figure out, or we can infer, okay, this is what they're trying to say. But well done on this one. Always the number and then the measure word, right? I did a mistake on that one because I wanted to give it as a correct one and then see and leave it like that. So somehow I tricked myself against. So when you answered, I was just thinking, no, you were supposed to leave it as it was, but then I realized, somehow I misplaced it as well myself. So correct one would have been Jade Liang Chen Mao Yi, like you guys picked out. Alright, so nicely done on that one. You actually corrected me. At least you mentioned it earlier. If I was doing a solo, what do you call it? That mono dialogue. I was gonna teach you the wrong thing. Yeah, but this is the part that you figured out is the correct one, right? So nicely done. Good. So let's pick up a few more with using the appropriate classifier. That cell phone. Right. Let's just cruise through these ones. I think they're basic. That's cell phone. We have our friend from our last class who was doing with cell phones. Where is she?
Wow.
Yeah, I see you more. You're up.
手机.
Sorry?
拿个手机.
Yes, very good. All right. 那个手机. And then those 5 photographs.
哪五张照片?
Yes, very good. Oh, yeah, you're good. And this cup of coffee. Oh yeah, we now have coffee. We had lots of beers above. A coffee for a change. This cup of coffee.
这杯咖啡.
Very good, right? And that piece of paper.
哪张? I forgot to say paper. 哪张 something.
Could be 纸, right? Like the 报纸, the 纸 after the. You remember newspaper? 报, and then 报 to report, and then 纸 for paper, right? 报纸. So the 纸 at the end is what stands for the paper, right? Now, 张纸
纸
the paper, a sheet of paper, or can also be used for other stuff like documents and letters and stuff. But nicely done. All right, so I like that you managed to pick the right measure words for these ones. Ga, zhang, and bei. All right. One of the things that we also touched in one of our classes was adjectives. But before we do that, is this part where we asking questions. Okay. Before we into English, let's see. 谁写的中文书？谁写的中文书？ Okay, this is we're familiar with da for the possessive marker, so I figured instead of asking the basic stuff like hey, how do we say 我的书我的 and I think that would be very very basic for you guys. So let's work with these questions, right? 谁写的中文书? How do you translate that in English?
Who wrote the Chinese book?
That would be 谁写中 we would have to point whether it's this book or that book, right? 谁写那个中文书 or 这个中文书 or 这本中文书, right? If we use the correct one. But we have the da there, so the da will change everything.
Oh, this book is written about who?
Okay, the book. So the context will be, I'm looking for a book, right? And then you ask me, the book written by who? Okay. 谁写的中文书? I'm looking for a Chinese book. The book written by who? And then 说谁写的中文书? Alright? So that will be the translation there. The book written by who? Alright? And that's the same construction that we have on the next one. 你什么时候买的中文书? Alright? I'm looking for a book. And then for a Chinese book. And then the person asks, 你什么时候买的中文书? What will be the translation for that one? What will be the translation for that one? Using the same analogy, the same line of thought that we used for the first one. I'm looking for a book. And then 你什么时候买的中文书? 什么时候买的? Alright, we're going to give it a go. Let me see. Sometimes I minimize the video. Okay. Okay. So remember we said 中文书. This is the object, right? 中文书谁写的? So the Chinese book, who wrote it? Okay. Start from the back, going to the front. Our object 中文书. The question 谁写的? So I'm looking for a book, a Chinese book, right? Who wrote it? Sort of 谁写的. So if you remove the part here, the last part, we're just left with who wrote it. Okay? Do you get it?
Mm-hmm.
谁写的? Okay? So I'm looking for a book, and then the person asks, who wrote it? That will be just 谁写的. And then we forget in the part of, okay, we already know that we're looking for a Chinese book. So that's the same analogy here, or line of thought rather, I should say. 你 I'm looking for a Chinese book. 你什么时候买的? Alright, so that you bought when? You're looking for a Chinese book that you bought when? Or when did you buy this Chinese book that you're looking for? 你什么时候买的? Right? So that's another construction that you would also sometimes see. Maybe you want to return something, and then they ask you, oh, 你什么时候买的? And then you tell them, oh, I bought it yesterday, and then they maybe ask you for a receipt or something. 你什么时候买的? Okay? Now that we know this part, like we can remove the objects to make it easier for us to understand. Let's say I'm looking for a book, and the answer comes back as more. Do you want to read this part?
你喜欢的什么书?
And what will be the translation for that?
You like which book? Which book?
Yes, which book, right? So the context might be, I'm looking for a book that I like, right? So from the ones that you like, which book do you like, right? Which book do you like? Which of the books you like are you referring to? So 你喜欢的什么书? Right? So this book is belonging to the books that I like. 我喜欢的. Right? So among the foods or books or drinks that you like, they're all in the category, or you would say 我喜欢的. Right? So if we were to pick one from them, then we would say 你喜欢的什么? And the object comes after. Okay, so that's the construction there. This shoe could be replaced with anything that we'll be referring to. 你喜欢的什么菜? I want to buy food that I like. Okay, 你喜欢的什么菜? If you want to ask which food do you like or which book do you like, we would just go with 你喜欢什么书? But we know that you have a set of things that you like, but from them you want to pick one, and then we would go with then we have to add the dot. So that's like from the things that are belonging to the group of the things that you like. 你喜欢的 which one? 什么 and then the object after, right? Does that make sense? Okay.
But can't you also ask it without the duh?
In that instance, it won't have a group. Like it will be just a general question, like which book do you like? Yeah, but then in this instance, when you say I like the book or the food that I like, we already said you have one particular that you like, and then from that bracket for the things that you like, which one from that bracket. So it's just shifting slightly from a general question where you're asking somebody which one do they like, and to a specific question where you say, okay, we know you have your preferences, right? From your preferences, which one in this instance are you after, right? Okay, so it could be like, and somebody like there's A to Z options. So the general question will be which one do you like, and you can pick anything from A to Z. But if somebody has a set that they like, maybe it's P, Q, and R, and then you say, okay, from this P, Q, and R, which one do you like at this moment? So that's just the one. That's the effect of da in the middle. Like we are just moving from a broader general question to a limited question where you have a set of things to pick from. Okay? Let's see this one in practice, all right? 多少钱的书? So I say I wanna buy a book. And 多少钱的书, how would you translate that?
this money?
多少钱 Yes, this. How much,
How
right?
much is the book?
Yes. Or the book of how much? Okay. 多少钱的书? The book of how much? So if you were to ask how much is the book, we would say, 这个书多少钱? But but this person is like, okay, you're looking for a book, but how of what amount? Like, what's your budget? 多少钱的书? Yeah. So the da part here is now limiting us to, okay, we have several books, but what's your budget? 多少钱的书? Alright. So belonging to this bracket of price, that's the possessive markers effect on this sentence, right? 多少钱的书? Of how much? Or belonging to what price? Okay, so let's hope we see that in practice, and then and then we get used to using it as well. Now let's shift to English. I think that will make it more interesting. The man who was talking to you. The man who was talking to you. Okay, so remember we're using the. Right? You two, do you want to go on this first one?
Man. Man is 男子.
Okay.
男子. Oh wait, the man who was talking. The man who was talking to you. Man who was talking to you. The man that was talking to you. Of the man that was talking to you. Of you. The man was talking. Wait. The man who was talking to you. Is that a hint that done that way? Okay. 你的那位
If you say 你的, then it's your or yours.
Huh?
If you say 你的, then that will be your or yours, right?
Oh.
Yeah, let's start with you, all right? Let's start from here with you.
跟你
Yes, very good. And then talking.
聊天 or 直说
All right. Or another one, like talking. 聊天 is more like chatting.
谈谈
Yes, let's go with 谈谈. It's good. 谈谈 or 谈话.
跟你谈谈的那位先生
Yes, very good. Nicely done. Very good. Good. Okay. Now let's add the time effect to that. Onto you, Mo, the man who was talking with you this morning. Let's start with this morning.
今天早上 跟你
Very good. Let's go.
Can you also use 说话 for talking?
Yes, you can. You can. You can. It'll be more on the. It'll be more on the speaking side. Yeah. but it can be used for talking, and it has a broader sense. Like it encompasses everything that has to do with talking. So you can use it by context. You could, even like we said, Liao Tian, you can also use 说话 in that instance as well. So it's a very broad one, so you can use it. Or even for gossiping. You can use 说话 as well, right? So let's continue. 今天早上跟你说话
Yeah, I forgot the rest.
Oh, okay, we'll come here.
说话的那位男
Very good. All right, so you could go with none, but you might need to add a little bit of something there, because none on its own can also mean male, right? So it could be male of anything. So you might need to add either 男子 or 男人 so that we know it's a male person, or 先生, or something else that specifies that that man who was talking to you. Okay, good. And finally, let's put a place, right? That man who was talking with you in the cafeteria this morning. Yep, you too.
Oh, so 今天早上在 cafeteria.
餐厅。
在餐厅跟你说谈谈的那位先生。
Very good, nice. Okay, so nicely done. So these are very compound sentences, very long and very descriptive. And you're doing a very good job because you're managing to break it up from front, middle, back, and coming up with the sense in the correct order. So kudos to you guys, very nicely done. All right, good. So I think I'm gonna leave these ones out for you. Okay, I'm gonna leave these ones out for you, but before we go, I'm gonna give you a hint on the last part so that these ones are very easy. I think when you look at them, you'll figure them out. But there's one that I think might be very tricky, which has to do with the use of. Okay, these ones are also completed marker. Yeah, so it's on the last slide, right? And I'm gonna do a quick explanation on these ones. They look somewhat the same. Some of them are we're gonna okay. By complete the sentences by filling in the blanks with 菜、字、也、都、还、or 就. Okay, so 只 this one only, right? Yeah, only. Like if you have one sister, you would say I only have one sister. You would go with this one. Yeah, so also, right? Okay, I speak this language and I also speak that language. I would go with yeah in that instance, right? If I'm going too fast, just let me know because I'm thinking these ones are familiar. And then do, we have 1, 2, 3 options and we need them all. Do, okay? And then hi, this is yet. And if something has happened, but something hasn't or finished, or it's still going on, or it hasn't started, hi. That's the one we will go with. Okay. And now I'm gonna fire up my browser because we have 2 left, which are Thai and Jill. So I'm gonna just go through with a few examples so that you get to know when and where we could use Thai and Jew. Excuse me. So here's a quick difference. Well, in usage cases, alright. Thai, this one here. You see that there's a difference and there's a similarity, all right? So Thai, in most like the most different part that we is used for is it's used to indicate that there's some sort of lateness, right? It's a connective verb that follows up accounts or events that are happening, but these events have some sort of delay in them, so they're sometimes used to express impatience or anxiety over something. For example, um, let's say you were waiting for 2 hours, or then了2个小时 right? 买到 let's say ticket, right? 买到票 okay, I waited 2 hours to get my ticket. So that's the sentence that you want to do. You want to express 2 hours to get a ticket. That's too long, all right? So here you would use 才 in the middle, all right? 我等了2个小时才买到票. So in that instance, 才 is used to say, okay, after I waited this much, and then I bought my ticket, right? Another expression would be, I waited this, then you hold this happened. But because there is some lateness in it, then you would use time. Okay. For example, another one would you? Okay. Last week we had somebody who was playing the boss. Let's do that. 老板. Let's delete this part. Let's say 11. 10到办公室. Okay, so the boss arrives at the office. We want to say I'm just going to add the la so that it's like a completed part. 11 o'clock. Okay, I'm going to put it here. Dollar. Okay, it's not really changing that much. Let me leave it at the back. Okay. So it's 11 o'clock. It's 11 in the morning, but you know people start work at maybe 9 or 8. So in that instance, because there is lateness in it, 11才到了办公室, right? Yeah, look at that. Good work, Google. Didn't arrive at work until 11 o'clock. Just because we added the time, now you pick that lateness that's coming through, right? So that's one usage case of time. Yeah, when you see it, it's connecting, like you said. 7点以后到了办公室. After 4, then they arrive. Something happens after this, but it's not just 以后 will just be after without implying or giving an idea about whether did it happen that fast or did it happen very slow or late. So will not be really the good one to express or things that are related to describing lateness or earliness of something. All right. So that's one way. Do you have questions on this one?
I don't.
Okay, good. And then there's this rather a usage of tie. I'm not sure if I should include it in this example, but just so you know, there are some times where tie is used to. There are so many usages. Let me show you over here. I think Google will give us. Okay, here. Only or just. So sometimes when you are talking about some stuff in small quantity, right? You, only tie can also be used. For example, let's see. Mm, we have we have we have many people. Many, so many people. Let's say you bought the news. Okay, there we go. Okay, we have so many people, you bought 3 dishes. So in that instance, because the number is we're saying is it's not mentioned. This one, the other part is little. Then we would use tie. Ni, tie, maila. Ni tie, maila. Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah. So that would also signify the usage of time. Okay. So enough of that. We'll see that in practice when you go through the assignment. Let's talk about you. Okay. All right. There's, I'm going through my brain list. There are some. You know what they do with these grammar points? There are some grammar points that when you're on this level, you are taught to use it this way, and then when you're on another level, the same grammar point will have some slight changes. Just barely should I? I don't want to confuse you that much, right? Let's let's see. Okay, let's talk of you first, and then we'll see if we can come back to tie a little in a little while. Or maybe we can
Can
do
we
that.
continue next week, Panda?
Okay.
Or for
Okay, so we can. Okay, let's let's leave it here, right? And then maybe we can
okay.
pick up from there. All right, cool.
Fine.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Okay. If there's any questions, you just let me know in the group. Oops. Oh yeah, it's really late. I wasn't watching on this. Very sorry about that.
We'll have too much fun.
Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, great.
Thank you.
Okay, cool.
Thank you for